find somewhere to save it. So for me to get the first shade, I will skip this first one and I'll pick this. So I have the first shade of gray. So if you can see it here, it has this a touch of blue inside. So for example, if I'm working on the white, if I'm using backgrounds now, I don't like to use white. I just like to use these shades of gray. So this one now gives it this beautiful blend, right? So for me to pick the second one, I would go to my clipboard and pick this. Right, so then after that one, I'll now start skipping them in twos. So I'll just do 1, 2, I'll pick this one. Skip this 2, I'll pick this one. And 1, 2. Please, sorry. I need to know what I use there. ACDD. All right. So
Barnabas,
yes?
I think I have some hands raised, and if you
Okay,
don't mind,
no problem.
I think it would help keep the class interactive. So
okay, so I can't see their
no problem. I won't do that. I just wanted you to know.
Okay.
So just feel free to carry on.
Yeah, so for now
Can I?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. So I have Damilola. Damilola has a question, I think, or some feedback. Damilola, feel free to unmute your mic and yeah, feel free to speak.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, so I would like to ask, is this the beginner's class? Because literally, I don't understand the idea of the color blending. I don't understand the color blending. I don't know if you can re-explain the color blending part, because I'm still new. I just started product design or using Figma this week. So it's my first. I'm a newbie, yeah, so I guess I'm the baby of the house. So it's my first week of using it. So I don't really understand. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Barney, can I chip in there? You follow up from there.
Yes, please. Yeah.
So Dami, first of all, welcome to Other Product Design. I will personally say, do not bother trying to grab this yet. If you started Figma this week, I would say relax and you can. This is something you probably want to do by the end of the month and not the week you started Figma. That said, it's Barney, I think you should also tell us some of the whys why we are doing this and probably make some reference to, maybe some examples so that they can see where you are headed. I'm okay. It's okay that you are showing us, the building blocks, but if they can relate to where we are headed, sometimes it kind of clicks and adds up. But Dami, I promise you do not. Style Guide design system is not something I learned the first month of product design. So it's one of the later topics you deal with. So for now, continue focusing on your alignment, your colors, your shapes, and those simple design rules. Okay, yeah, this is something you would pick up later on as you perfect the basics. Barney, over to you.
All right. Okay, so so that I'm not boring you guys. So like over time, when you're designing, right, you need to have like a lot of all these shades, right, to help you when you how do I put it? So there's something called visual hierarchy, right? So when you are designing, you need to have like all this visual hierarchy. It helps your design. It helps people see your design better. I don't know how to explain it better than this, right? I think I'll still push it to Toby to help me explain why we use all the many shades. But basically all I understand is it helps me with visual hierarchy. One, what it does is, for example, I don't like to use whites now for when I'm designing.
Bunny, can you go to a website, for instance, maybe
Okay.
a live website, doesn't, or maybe a project you've done? That's one. It could be a
Uh,
project you've done or a live
so so
website.
so so most of my projects here they have like NDAs. So
Okay,
except like yeah,
fair. So open, let's open Cowrywise, for instance. Open your browser and go to Cowrywise.
whites.
Or what other platform? I think so. Nofisat, I completely forgot, I would be honest, because it's calling me that does it, but I ended up recording later on. So you guys would start from half of what he said. So
Okay.
Dami, you can see Cowrywise's beautiful website. Okay, it looks good, and we can easily say blue is their color. It's easy to say it's blue, but the truth is, it is not just one blue. Dami, let me know if you agree with me or you disagree.
Yeah, I'm good with what you're saying actually.
Manny, you must agree. I'm talking to Dami. Dami, that's the
I
question.
do actually.
All right,
Yes, I
cool.
do.
Cool.
Thank
But
you.
the thing is, this blue you are seeing is not one blue. There are different
Yes,
versions of blue. It's
blue.
it's
Yeah.
different. So with your style guide, you are able to document the different variants. That's the key word. The different
Okay.
shades. The different shades. So
Okay.
in this instance, this website came together not because one person had colors to play with. No, so Barnabas, Barney, keep scrolling down now from top to
Okay.
bottom. So I can see. Okay, so stop here, stop all this illustration.
Okay.
Admit this illustration alone, I can see at least 5 shades of blue. I don't know if you'd agree, but I can see the very dark one, the
All
very
right.
light one. So these
Yes.
things did not come out of thin air. Someone somewhere sat down and literally said light blue, dark blue, but do not use this type of blue. That this
Hmm.
is the only type of blue you can use. So
Okay.
what I've just said is the base, like the essence of why we are doing what we are doing now. Design
All
is
right.
fun. For beginners, I would say do not let this boring aspect slow you down. I would say keep playing around and cooking up exciting, playful things. But just be mindful that when you mature, when your work matures, when you want to chill with the big boys, you need to have something like a style guide. And from that style guide, we build design systems.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what it says. If you do not grab this, do not feel under the need. It's like, when you open a textbook, design systems is like chapter 6 or 7 of that textbook. Right now we
Sure.
are on chapter 1, but we want to try and even make that chapter 7 as easy as possible, so that once you get there by yourself, it will make sense. Okay, so I'll let. Oh man, I'm tired of admitting, honestly. This thing is a pain. Like, is there a way I can automatically allow people join? Oh, okay. Someone else has their hands raised. Then after that, so that make like I hope I've addressed you to an extent. I'll allow Jamu speak then. Bani, I hope you can pick up from there and just
No
continue
problem.
with your session. Yeah. So Jamu,
No.
do you have Jamu wanted to say something or um okay, he has put down his hands. All right, cool. So Bani, you can carry on.
Okay, so we'll be doing the darker parts, the darker shades of the gray now, right? It's still the same plugin. So anybody who's asking what plugin I'm actually using, right, is so I'm still going back to the first one I used, the first one we got, right? So we'll come here. Um, right? This time around, we're using shades. They're not tints. Tints are for like the lighter ones. Shades are for like the darker ones, right? So we're using shades now. So because I'm just getting only 4, right? So I'm using just 8, right? So I'll copy it. the same way, come here and replace it, right? So for the first one, I'm picking this one. I'm skipping one, picking this. I'll just say, sorry, guys. I'm skipping another one, picking the next one. Okay.
So, Barney, this is you generating tones based on
Yes,
your primary color.
yes.
Okay, cool. Continue. Is there anyone that let's have this let's make it a conversation and not a one-way thing. Barney, continue working. Is there
All
any
right.
senior man here that wants to comment? Any tips? Maybe what we could have done while we're on this particular
Then I'm
stage.
not using 000 because that's under the shades and we already have white and black there. So
Okay,
I'm using
awesome.
this one. Yes.
Awesome. So I think Gabriel wants to contribute to the conversation. For me, I would say
Alright.
maybe I would have said maybe opening a new frame would have helped simplify things for people so they know. But if they joined early in the class, they probably would have gotten it. Gabriel, you have the floor. Gabriel, hi.
Okay,
I'm
Gabriel.
favorite. Yeah, favorite to introduce yourself before you go ahead.
Hello. My name is Gabriel. Yeah. I have had like new issues and through. Yeah. And I've tried my hands on a couple of things. I'm very bad at introducing myself, so I don't really know what to say. Going back to what Barnabas is working on. Yeah. Just a little hint. I don't think he is in Barnabas, but then there is another one I normally suggest that it actually helps out with like it cuts the work you're doing right now into half. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't get that, Gabriel.
I said the program you're using for generating your color is actually really nice, but I wanted to make a suggestion for you to try out another one. It actually cuts the work you're doing into like half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the name of the plugin is Foundational Color Generator.
Foundational color
Oh,
generator.
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Gabriel. Gabriel, could you help us drop? No, not you, Barnabas. You keep on. Gabriel, could you help us drop the link on the chat for as many that want to check it out? They're able to check it out and explore. That's a really good. I've used it a couple times. And so Novisal, yes, would share the link. No worries. The link will be open. No wala. So Gabriel, thanks. Please help us. If you could just drop the link on the chat, that would be really helpful. Is that cool?
Okay.
I'll drop it.
Gabriel, are we good?
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool. Thanks, man. So
Thank you, Gabriel.
So Barney, over to you.
So at this point now, since we've already created our neutrals now, we have all the shades. So what we're just going to do now is we're just going to add them to our workspace. So for example, the way to add this to your workspace is you come here, you click these 4 dots, right? You see this plus button. Now we don't have any neutral. We don't have neutrals here, right? So you click this plus button here. You put neutral. I hope I know how to spell neutral. Neutral /50. Let me just copy this thing so that I will not start doing it in street. Right, create style. So the style is there now. So you move to the
Barney,
next.
why 50? Why the number 50?
Okay, because I labeled everything. So sorry, guys. So I labeled everything 50, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 is our mid color, 600 to 900. Right? So that's why so immediately I'm doing this stuff now. I'm going to label them just with the number that I have here so that you can always see a reference. If you're coming here to check, right, you can see the reference of what I used. Basically, that's just all. So we're moving to 100 now, right? So come here, the same thing. So sorry. Okay, it's 200.
And for other people, well, Bunny, you continue with this step. How often do we use style guides? Like if we are going to knock up, yeah, can someone share how often they get to use this, and how important is it to their project? Anyone in the audience? Maybe a practical experience just to share with those that are coming up and wondering how it is. So I'll just start. I would say for me, where I work, I'm lucky to have one awesome designer, that does all the stress. He does all the work, and my own is to come and use, But that said, there's usually the brand guide that helps. So the company logo, the company's color would always be the ultimate referral, like what you reference. But then we need shades of green, for success, you want green. And I emphasize it again that if you don't do these things, it's easy for someone else to join your project and just freestyle. So you can see what Barney is doing here. You can see that success message. So maybe he wants to design a check mark that says successful. From these colors that he has documented, he would see the text. He will see what he will use for that Nike shape. What's the name of that shape? That Nike check mark, the tick mark rather. You would see what you use for the background circle, And Barney, aside creation, I would say let's create maybe even the littlest thing. If it's a button, even if it's a text field, create something with what you've done, and that would be a round of the class if time permits.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, I think that really usually works to see where we are headed with this. You feel free to just use what you've created already. Obviously, the first one would be a good reference to show people how the rest are done. But I think using a new frame, just use what you've done and hopefully it makes sense for more people. Okay, hands are raised.
Okay.
But before you go ahead, let me get some more from people. Okay, I'm not sure if also Jess wants to go ahead. So
hi everybody.
Justin,
Good evening. Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So for me, this style guide has really helped me a lot. Though I don't use it for every project. That's if I'm just have to deal with one color or something. But one thing I know about style guide is that it makes your work very easy. And like how Toby said earlier, if someone is to work on a project with you, the person just probably come and freestyle with colors on your project, which is not nice. So it serves as a guidance for design. So yes, it's very important when you're trying to design a project. A project, just have to use the style guide. That's all for me.
Awesome. Thanks. Thank you very much for that contribution. But Barney, I'm sorry. Barney, just stay on your Figma. Don't worry about I'll undo the screens. You just focus on Figma.
Because I'm about to do the dark side. That's why. And that one will need me talking to. So that
okay, no, so let's take two more and I'll leave it to you. Yeah.
No
so
problem.
in your Lua and Daniel would go next and we'll go back to Barney. In Alpha.
Okay, yeah, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. That system was like talking about.
We actually can't, to be fair. So if there's something you can fix in your audio, that would be great.
Okay, let me just connect my AirPod and come on.
Yeah, just check in your audio and get back and try again.
Okay, what about now?
Your audio is not. Now it's better. Now it's better.
All right, okay. So I said there's some design system actually like helps me in the creation of a lot of projects. Not really a lot of projects because I've not really worked on a lot of projects like that. But there's a particular project I'm working on, and then I have to create a style guide for the team, so we could work on it together, and make the whole the project quite easy for everyone. Without the color selection and all of that. So I would say it has actually helped me in the process of not going back and forth trying to look where I copied or I'm copying the color code, the hexadecimal code and all of that up and down from maybe one notepad to the Figma frame and all of that. So that helped me a lot. So that's how I want to say.
Okay.
All right, cool. Thanks, man. Daniel, over to you.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Hi,
Right,
also.
then.
Yeah, so like this team is really cool and like really like nice to like work on. So please, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yeah,
can.
we can hear you.
Okay,
Go ahead.
okay, like because it has helped me like creating because I like design some few like products. So like it has helped me to understand you creating design system according for a product according to the product identity and how on how it will be used, because I believe like different products should be presented like in different way according to the brand's identity. So that like helped me a lot and saved me a lot of like time, documents, and I've also like learned a lot too. Like it's a very good learning process actually.
All
Like
right, cool. Thanks, Daniel. And at the end of the class, I'll throw the floor open where everyone would share resources. I would like everyone to get ready, especially the experts here. At the end of the class, along with what Barney has taught, I'd like you to share your favorite links, your favorite articles, your favorite videos at the comment. Not now, at the end of the class, but right now, I'd like us to go back to Barney to continue with the session. Yeah. Thank you for the contribution so far.
Okay. So for people that design dark modes, right? With dark modes and everything, and so what's I'm okay. So let me just say it here because I've done it before. So what I used to do before here is I'll just reduce opacity. I'll just go and change. I'll just make sure that okay, fine, this one is dark. This one is not as dark as this one, right? And so that's how I just used to get, and I don't used to use more than 3 shades of black and everything. But so I stumbled on that Miss Cole's stuff, and so what he was explaining was the best thing to use is just go to material design. So on material design, they said material design, when you come to first things first, you have to come to color. When you go to material.io, you go to color, go to dark theme, then click on properties on the side. Now, so here they wrote that the recommended dark theme surface color is 121212, right? So you just use, so I'll just come back to my Figma file, right? I'll pick a box, same way I did the last time, right? Then click on 121212, right? So this is their own color. Now, but because most times when I work, I like to just make sure that okay, so even when I'm doing this dark mode and everything, and for example, if I'm using dark mode and they still have like maybe their primary color, I would like to just the same way I did it the first time, right? I like to just put the blue inside. So it's the same thing I did, right? So now it's just like how Toby has been saying it. I don't think there's like maybe one way to create a design system. So sometimes it's what work for you. And now even with working with talking about this thing now, I just learned that I can use another method that is actually way faster than this. Instead of me wasting my not like I'm wasting my time, instead of me doing it this way, I can do it another way. But this is my own method most times. So it's the same thing I did. I'll just pick make sure that is the main color, the mid, the 500. Change this one to 10, right? So it just has like a tint of blue inside. So I'll pick this last one here, and that's it. So my black just has like a little bit of blue. So now what they now said on that same material design is to get the other shades, right? They did this. So it's here. When you scroll down here, they are saying that you just use a white overlay transparency. So the regular one is 0. That's the 900, right? So when you're about to create 800 is this way till the 50. So like the same way I did it. So I'll just you guys will see it. I'll show you on Figma. So we did this from 900 to 50. So that's that property thing. I copied it here. And so what I'm just going to be doing now is I'll delete this one first. Pick my 900. See. Right? Then I'll now put like a box on it, pick white. Then the first one, overlay of 5%, so it's 5, and that's just it. So at this point, I click on this one, right, and that's just how I get all of them. So I'll be doing everything, every
Really?
other one from this place, so that I will not just be explaining the remaining thing now. I'll just be doing it from here. So anybody who wants to do it the same way, right, can just always check material.io, go to properties or go to colors, dark theme, go to properties, then you can pick this thing there. Just copy it, paste it in Figma, get all the percentage overlay and create your different shades.
All right, cool. Thanks, Barney. So while you are doing the rest, we'll talk on our own side. But I really want you to create the simplest, make use of what you've created. To if it's just a login page, or just no matter how small a UI is, just to see how everything comes together. That will be a way to round off your class. Thank you very much. While he's wrapping that off, I would like to hear from someone else. Gabriel, thanks for dropping that link. I know there'll be tons of questions. Please just help us hold your questions. Are there other contributions that you think would add value to the conversation so far? For the people that are okay, someone wants to speak. There's a Solomon Kingston. Hi, are you trying to say something? Mic check. Solomon Kings. Okay, cool. So welcome everyone. For those that joined late in the middle of the conversation, we're trying to start a series where we basically talk about design systems and the very first part, like designs, there's so many angles to pick design systems from. It's a huge, massive subject, but we just know you can start from somewhere. And Barney and Aderiye have decided to start from the color style guide aspect of it. So he walked us through how you kind of build up on a design system. I think he used Atom design system. For those of you that joined kind of late, we have recordings where you can pick up from. And he kind of showed us how we generated all the individual shades. Gabriel was nice enough to give us another reference that we could use. And now Barney is currently showing the dark version he showed. And that's how design is not on vibes. Damilola and other newbies. Right now, it's okay to play around. I don't like beginners overwhelming themselves with this type of things because it will just give you a headache. So, but just be mindful that as your design work matures, you need to go towards this direction. Your work needs to be structured. If a new engineer or designer joins your team, they need to be able to know exactly where your colors are documented. When you check case studies and you scroll to the bottom, you see these are the style guides I used. That's literally what Barney just showed us, that your creation of style guide is not just based on vibes. There's a system to it, there's a pattern to it, and I'm hoping it's clear. If it is not clear, I'll drop his Twitter here and please DM me, DM him and add him. All right. So he has dropped his Twitter before. Someone drop it again. Feel free to connect. That's the whole idea of this platform, and yeah, we'll just try and keep this up. So Barney, if you don't mind, I'd like you to help us with the screen. It doesn't have to be a complete screen, but I just wanted to use the things you've done, help us do something with it, and we can switch to
no problem.
Yeah, we have the floor. Michael Alpha, Michael, are you here now? Is Michael still here? And is Pelumi here? Still not. Okay, and for the people, for those that are just joining us, Design Yard People is just a community where we just talk design while not being too deep about it. The goal is to have a support system where literally anyone can just ask questions without feeling shy or intimidated. That's really the goal. There's a WhatsApp group that we try to curate, and we've tried to manage it for about a year now. If you think you are interested in joining that group, feel free to send a DM to the IG. We usually just make sure you know something about design. We don't want complete, I want to start. We want people that have started and are kind of stuck, or that are at level 10%. It makes more sense that way. So send a DM on Instagram. We'll try and take in more members as slowly as we can. Yeah, that's
So
it. Barney, are you good to go now?
Yeah. So at this point now, we've created all the shades, right? Based on what I just did, right? So if you still is recorded, right, you can just still check it, like to see what I just did from like beginning to the end. So we have all these shades based on the material IO. They are telling us that okay, fine, this is I prefer using Google style, right? If Google can tell me that okay, fine, this is recommended. They're not saying that you need to use it, but like you can have your own style of how you create your own dark modes, your shades and everything. But me, I always go with Google style and everything. So at this point, I'm done with it. So we are going to be adding it the same way. I already added it anyways, but like so that I just figured that maybe we'll be wasting time. So I already added dark mode already. So but if you're a newbie and you want to know how to add, it's just simple. So like, let's say you click on the color that you want to add, you click on this button, you click on the plus button, and whatever you name it as, if you name it as, let's say, Shango Black, for example, Shango Black /50, right? You create that style, is there already. So by the time you do this, you see your Shango Black there as 50. But here I named it dark mode, so everything is there, so that it doesn't feel like we're wasting time. So we're just going to, let me just see. I have some things here that I have some things on the page that I can pick. For example, okay, so this is a button. Or do I need to design like a new button again itself, Toby?
You don't have to just focus on the
Okay.
colors, but build something off of it while using the
Okay,
colors
so
you created.
okay,
Yeah.
so like let's say for example now I want to change this color to like let's say I okay, so I think here's already the primary, so I want to change it to like secondary. It's pretty simple, right? So I'm clicking on this button already. I come to the color that is already here, right? I will just change to error because we've already created everything. The position of adding everything, I picked only now I've selected that blue, right? I want to change it to like let's say maybe error, right? I'll just pick on this and now it changes. Like it's pretty simple. So it helps your work. It helps you to work faster. Basically, that's just it, right? So let's say somebody has come now and said that okay, fine, don't make that one error, make it warning, right? So I go to warning straight and I pick this one and it changes. So this is how you use your design system, right? So it just basically makes your work pretty fast and everything. And so let's say, for example, I want to change it to the Shango Black that I just used right now, right? So I'll just go to Shango Black and I pick it, and that's how it works. Is that simple? So
Awesome.
so at this point, I've come to the end of my own distance. So if there's yeah. So I'm actually very serious. So what we just did is just like show them how these shades are
Yeah.
done because you can't do it. You can't. Even if I'm using 2 hours now to stay, I want to design everything. All I was doing was intro and colors. Aderiye
cool.
is doing Aderiye is doing I think typography and icons. So I think at this point I can stop sharing my screen
Alright.
and pass the mic to
Cool.
him.
Thank you very much, man. And I think I even learned a lot myself. Thanks a lot, Barney. And thank you for sharing knowledge. I'd like everyone to give Barney a shout out, whichever way. And most importantly, connect. If you have additional resources to share, drop them in the comments for everyone. Videos that helped you, articles that helped you. For the beginners, you want to Google something called color styles. Okay, don't just type Google's design system. Google something like Figma color styles. So that way they will show you how to first create styles, right, on Figma, because almost everyone uses Figma. My apologies to the Adobe people and Sketch in the house. So the topic itself is color styles. Then you can build up on design systems on color styles. All right. So thank you very much, Barney. I don't know if we can take questions now or just let Aderiye go in because of time. We spent an hour. We have just 1 hour left. Aderiye, mic check. Confirm you're on standby to pick up from where Barney stopped. Thank you very much, Barney. Aderiye, how far are you there?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
All right, now. So help me keep within that time limit, 40 minutes preferably. Keep it practical, and hopefully I'll try and keep the session engaging. So my apologies in advance if I interrupt you with Barney, just to make sure we are not talking to ourselves. You get?
No, it's totally fine. It's totally
All right,
fine. So
cool.
just give me like 2 minutes to 2
Yeah.
minutes. That's my
But Barnabas, please drop your links again. Some people just joined, so help me drop your Twitter or whatever way people can connect with you. And yeah, that would be really great. And whatever resources you think people can follow up. Barney, are you there?
I'm here.
All right, cool. Just drop it in the comments, I beg. Aderiye Alpha, we can't see your screen at all.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Aderiye, what's going on, bro? Okay, so while Aderiye is loading, yeah, I like what Sulaimon said. You should drop your plugins and go and retweet and like your case studies. Yeah, scratch out your backs. How do you say that? Aderiye, you can see your screen now, but we can't hear you because I think you're on mute.
All right, guys.
All right, cool.
Once again, good evening. My name is Aderiye, and yeah, I'll be talking about typography and icons, basically. So yeah. Okay. What is typography? According to the Interaction Design Foundation, typography is a design discipline that involves the use of typefaces and the organization of typefaces to create usable, readable, and ideally user-friendly interfaces or experience. So basically what it means is that in quotes, right? Typography is, a design system is basically incomplete without typography, because for every product you have out there, in as much as you have illustrations or images, majority of the products out there are occupied with text, with typefaces, basically. So typography also explores how to build hierarchy using size, color, additional details like line height and layering responsiveness. There are a couple of terminologies used in typography, and most times, even designers, even the advert designers, make that mistake of calling a typeface a font. So here I'll just give a brief description of these terminologies so as to better understand them. A typeface is a design style which comprises of text of varying sizes and weights. It is also known as font family. I'm sure most of us must have heard of it, especially those that are closer to developers and all. And examples of typefaces include Arial, Helvetica, Leroy, Times New Roman, and all. Now, most times, yeah, you agree with me that typefaces are what most people call fonts. Well, I'm here to clear that whatever it's called, that mistake shouldn't be made actually. So yeah, before I get to fonts, we have two different types of typefaces, basically, yeah, but then they are generally called fonts. We have the serif and we have the sans serif. The serif fonts are those that have extra stroke found at the end of the main vertical and horizontal strokes of some letters. And a major example is the popular Times New Roman. I mean, we all went to school, I believe, and we all wrote projects at one point or the other. Okay, if you look at the screen, look at the heading, terminologies used in typography here. This particular typeface is actually a serif font, because look at the T, for example, the T in terminologies. It has different strokes at the right and left, and also at the bottom of the T. So those are what serif fonts are. Then sans serif fonts are they do not have strokes, and they are they don't have strokes, and they are easy to read. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not like serif fonts are not easy to read. They're also easy to read. But then you could make mistakes sometimes especially when the font is in italics, you could make the mistake. But for serif fonts, they're actually modern and very, very easy to read. And an example of a serif font is Poppins, Roboto, and all. Okay, now back to fonts. Font refers to the weights that constitute a typeface. Okay, so let me go back to typeface a bit. See typeface as an album, right? A musical album. Now see font and every other thing we're going to talk about as the tracks in the album. So basically, typeface is the album, then every other thing under it is like are the different tracks. For example, now a font fonts consist of all this. Fonts consist of weights, basically. Fonts are weights. Fonts are actually not Poppins or Gilroy or something. Fonts are actually the weights, the light, the regular, the medium, among others. Then we also have character. Character refers to every single alphabet or numbers. For everything you type, once you strike T on your keyboard and you type A is a character. Then we have tracking. Tracking refers to the uniform increase or decrease in the space between characters. When I say uniform increase or decrease, excuse me, I'm basically trying to say the spacing, right? Spacing. Take, for example, see the example I gave here, Rie. There are equal spaces between R and I and Y and E. That is what tracking is all about. It gives equal spacing between a particular word. While kerning on the other hand kerning is not uniform, right? The spacing between kerning, when it comes to kerning, are not uniform. Now, if you look closely at this other ray, right? From afar, you might think the spacing are equal, but they're actually not. If you look closely at it, you will see that they're actually not equal. And that is what kerning is all about. Most places where kernings are used are probably H1 of the H1 of newspaper headlines or articles, or even logo, all these logo fonts that we have. Most of them, kerning is used on all these guys. So real quick, I will we'll quickly work on a practical aspect of typography. So I'm coming, let me share my screen, please.
So while Aderiye is trying to sort out his screen, I think for me, what I like first off was let me just steal font. It's Tolu on this font. This is Tolu on this call. Like Tolu is one of the masters of font use that I know. That I met. I don't think it's on this call. So if there are any sick fonts out there, I'd like you to share on the chats. And I'm intentionally using that word, to show how we mix up use of fonts, font face, font type regularly. So so for instance, Gilroy is something that works for me. It's a font family that works for me currently. Aderiye, I'm stalling. Is you I'm waiting for? Just let me know when you want to comment. Yeah, I'm hoping there are no issues. So yeah. So Daniel just dropped cabinet Gotex. Thank you very much. Barnabas, please let's secularize to the rest. Please, that thing has been overused. Let's secularize to the rest. So try out some of these fonts. And okay, Aderiye, so we can see your Figma now.
All right. Okay. All right. So basically, I'll just be explaining since time will not permit me. I'll just explain in details, not in details, but not in details. When I say in details now, I'll just talk about the brief stuff and I'll talk about stuff briefly, then we'll be able to move from there.
Aderiye, you're on mute. What's going on? Aderiye, you're on mute in case you are saying something. I'm not, is it just me? I can't hear anything.
Yeah, I can't hear Aderiye as well.
Yeah, and he's kind of moving his cursor. Guy Alpha, Aderiye, we can't hear you. You're talking to yourself. You know me, I don't have patience like that though. We just end the class here. Can someone message him, please? Like, can someone communicate? Barney, please reach out to
See,
him.
I just sent him a message.
I'm so sorry. Sorry, my network went off. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm so sorry, please.
All right.
So yeah, right. So I'll just give a brief talk on typography before we move to icons, as time is not on our side. So first things first, what I use when I start any project, the base text I use is 16 pixels. So take for example, we have this text, RIE, right? Take for example, we have RIE as our base text with 16 pixels. That is what I use as my base text. Then I use, I use a particular scale ratio. Now, according to Miss Koya, there is actually a particular, there's a site where you can check for scalings. I will type it in the comment section now so you guys can go through it. It's called type-scale.com. So that's what I use, right? And when you check style-scale, type-scale.com, right? You see different, you're actually going to see different scales. So the one I use, right, is I think Minotaur or something, which has a scale of 1.2. I use it at 1.2 or 1.5 to scale my typefaces. So if I have 16 pixels as my base text, right, I will save that. Now by saving it, I don't want to assume you all know how to save. You come to the you come to this style part of the text, right click on the plus icon. Then you write, that's our body text, obviously, right? So you write body / 16 pixels. Okay, yeah, 16 pixels / regular.
Aderiye, I'm going to come in again. I'm sorry. I'm just taking off the Damilolas on the call.
All right.
Create pause. Don't create it yet. Open Carrywise again.
All right.
Don't cancel what you're doing. Just switch your browser and switch to Carrywise. Oh, you're sharing only Figma.
Yeah, I'm sharing only Figma. Don't
worry. Help me switch. So so everyone just like figuring out product design. The essence of typography is, again, I don't know if you've started already. Use do you have what font? Do you have what font?
What font? An extension, I don't.
You don't have the what font. So everyone here, please someone drop what font for me in the chat, in the chat section. Everyone should have what font. That way you're able to inspect websites and see what font they are using, what font family. Aderiye, what do you say is the right word again? What font family, right? Family is the right word.
Family or typeface, yeah.
Typeface, exactly. So could you close, and why is your screen so zoomed in? I beg, zoom out now. Can close these guys. Like we can barely see anything. Like zoom out so we can see the whole of the screen. Right now we are seeing the chat browser staring in our face. Like the chat section. Yeah, exactly. Then help us close this one down. Close this chat bot.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So see how put your money to work is big, and build discipline, access financial tools that steadily is a particular font. Now, if you scroll down, Aderiye, can you scroll down, please? If you scroll down, you see get financial freedom, and you notice that the plan towards your dream home is consistent. The size of save with friends is consistent with the size of create multiple savings plans. So what Aderiye is about to teach us is the consistency related to typography. Barney has showed us how colors work, how we manage the colors, how you document them. What Aderiye is starting now is how to even build the right font set, like making sure it's organized. You know, we'll be mentioning base. He mentioned something called base, base font size, using 16 as where it starts from. He's mentioning things like ratio. Some of these things might not make sense, but I promise you that as you mature, I keep using the word mature. I don't like stressing beginners. If this is your first month in design, you still even need to make sure your button is straight first and everything is aligned, so that is where we are headed. So this font you are seeing here is not based on vibes. Scroll down a bit again. See how create your emergency plan is in capitals, and if you scroll down, you see the next box again. That scroll down a bit. See how create your emergency plan and start investing. Those are consistencies. So whoever wants to create a new page will just come and see what a designer has done in the past and come and review and reuse it. So Aderiye is literally showing us the process of setting all of that up. All right. So Aderiye, sorry for interrupting. You can proceed now. Yeah.
All right.
Someone has their hands raised. Aderiye, stay where you are. Damola, as quickly as possible, please make your contributions or ask your question. Damola has put down her hands. So Aderiye, you have the floor. Yeah.
Okay. So 16 is my base text, right? I rename it regular. So body 16 and regular. Now it is important to use / while renaming elements in your design, simply because it helps to group accordingly. So if I click on create style here and I click out of this box, if we check on the right hand panel, you see text styles, right? And you see body. Click on the drop down on the icon and you see 16 pixels. Click on that and you see regular. So now I create three different font weights for my designs. I create regular, semi-bold sometimes, and bold. So to create semi-bold now, right? All I have to do is click my rear, change this regular to semi-bold, go to styles again, click on the plus icon, type body / 16 pixels / semi-bold. And you create style. That way you have two different styles already under 16 pixels, right? So for the third one, you do the same for bold. Let me just do that, then I nudge it up a bit. You change semi-bold to bold. Styles, click on plus. Body 16 pixels regular. All you have to do is change, and bold, and then you create style. So that way, for your body text, you have 16 pixels in 3 different font weights. So now to nudge it up a bit, right? For us to have, say, maybe our H4 or H5 or whatever it is you want to have. Now, don't forget, under type.scale.com, right? I said I use 1.25 as my ratio, either 1.25 or 1.20, right? So if we use 1.20 in this particular class now, all I have to do is come to line height here, where my cursor is, type 16 times 1.20. Now I have 19.2. That would be my line height. Now, the essence of line height is actually to encourage readability and legibility. Once it's legible, users will be able to read clearly. So that's the essence of line height. So if, okay, so that is the line height.
I was going to say, do you want to like type a sentence and type a new line so they can literally see what it looks like? Like type "re,"
Okay.
and then some other, yeah. Well, we should be in, yeah. So yeah, Toby. Then next line, enter. I beg. So next line exactly. So you'd see the purpose of line in action. Yeah. So, all right, cool.
This is the essence of line height, right? So now one mistake I made, sorry, right? Before I on my styles, right? My text styles, the regular semi-bold and bold. I was supposed to actually change the line height from auto to 19.2, which I just did now. Okay, so if for us now to scale our 16 pixels up a bit to get, say, our H6, H5, H4, H3, H2, or H1, anyone we want, we click on the text. Now you multiply, since I'm using 1.20 as my scale, I'll multiply 16 by 1.2. I have 19.2. So 19.2 will be my whatever. Let's assume 19.2 is my H4 for this particular class now. Now, I'll come back to the line height. Multiply 19.2 by 1.2. I have 23. So 23 will be my line height for my H4. So let me save this as, let's also save this as H4 / 19 pixels / this is bold. We create our style. If you click out of the O frame, you see that you have two different styles here now. You have your body style and you have your H4 style.
Aderiye, permission for on behalf of those in the audience. We have two questions. There's one. Don't just stay on Figma. I'll read it for you. So someone asked, why did you decide to use 1.20 as your scale ratio? And so Goodwill is asking, where did you get 1.2, please? So if you can.
Okay, so to the last question now, let me start with that. I got my 1.2 from type-scale.com. It's in the comment section. I dropped it already. So you can go to the numerous scales there and just pick anyone. So to the first question, I picked, so different strokes for different folks. When Barney was talking earlier, right, he talks about having a particular method on how to run colors. So that is basically what, exactly, thank you, David Falabi.
Yeah.
That is basically what I'm doing too. You see some people that use 1.618, that is the golden ratio. Some people actually do use it, but I decided to stick to 1.2 and between 1.2 and 1.25.
Cool, thanks. And I have this arc I always give my students, especially for those of you starting out. When you are scared of, the way Aderiye and thing, just type skill, and sort of all of you are like, who the hell is type skill? Like, why do I have to listen to type skill? So on topics like this, when you're exploring topics like this, just Google things like best practice typography in UI design. Like literally Google it like that. Best practice in typography UI design. That way you'd see maybe 2 to 3 articles that literally recommend things. And out of those 3 articles, you see them mention one particular thing. If 5 articles can mention one particular thing, it means we should kind of rate that particular thing. So if 5 articles are saying type scale is a recommended yada yada yada, it means we can take a look at it. So this same thing applies to colors. So if I literally want to learn anything today, what I Google is best practice in money ritual. Like that's just an example. I'll literally put best practice because people that write articles on best practice are usually people that are knowledgeable on the subject, and that way it's easier for you to learn. You know you are learning with authority. I hope that helps somebody out there. Okay, and I think so. If Olua is asking, is it exactly she's asking, is it based on vibes? Aderiye, that's where I was headed. So is it instinctive? You just deciding to use
Yes,
TypeScape
actually.
1.2?
Yes.
It's an instinct. Okay, for you, Shao, but if Olua, I would say over time you realize it's not just instinct. Some things are based on your gut feeling, but there are some things that are proven and proven over and over again. For instance, what works here for small fonts will not work for large fonts. What works for readable fonts may not work. So it's instinct at times, but you also want to follow best practice. So I hope the word best practice would help someone here. Adiri, over to you. Sorry for interrupting. Yeah. Adiri, Alpha, you're on mute. You're on mute now.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So, well, that is that about the bold. And so that's how you actually go about renaming your typefaces. So let me just do one more. For say our H3 now, since it's H4, just 19.2. Or you can decide to approximate it though. 19.2 approximately will give us 19. So 19, but since we use 19.2 for our H4, let's just use 19.2 here. So you do 19.2 multiplied by 1.2. It gives us 23.04. Now 23 here as our line height for H4 multiplied by 1.2 gives us 27.2, 27.6. So this particular font here, this particular typeface, yeah, we all make a mistake. This particular typeface will be our H3, right? So you just call H3 / 23 pixels / bold. And like that, you have your H3. So you nudge it up like that to get till you get to your H1. And if you want to come down a bit, right? So let's just go back and select 16 pixels, 16 regular. So if we want to nudge it down a bit, right? All we have to do is 16. Oh, sorry. So all we have to do is, let me go back. Nudging 16 pixels down a bit to get our probably second body text, our paragraph 2 for the developers that will understand. You just have to divide, since we are using 1.2 as our scale here, you just have to divide 16 pixels divided by 1.2. You have 13.33. For your line heights, 13.33 multiplied by 1.2. And there you have it. You save that one as, say, maybe paragraph 2 or something. So P2 / 13 pixels / regular. So basically, yeah, that is that about about typography. Now, the essence of styling your typefaces is just so. If we go back to this Cowrywise's website here, put your money to work is definitely their H1. So if we had scaled our, what's it called now, our typeface till H1, you will actually understand better that this particular put your money to work is their H1. Then build discipline, access financial tools that steadily grow your finances. It's probably their body text, which is 16 pixels, or the 13 pixels we came about. So yeah, that's actually that is basically that about typefaces. one thing before I go again, right, is we all fill online forms, right? Or we input fields, error messages, right? There are error messages where you are below your input field. And you notice that those fonts are actually very small. They're about 10 pixels or maybe 11 pixels or whatever. So to do that, it's just the same way too. Just 13.33 divided by 1.2. You have 11 pixels. Excuse me. So that is what you actually use for your error messages of very, very small text. So yeah, that about typography. If there are any questions, do let me know before I move over to icons. Can anyone hear me, please?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. At least from my end, I can hear you.
Okay, so in the absence of questions, I'll move over to, is anyone raising their hand? In the absence of questions, I'll move over to icons. Okay, yeah. An icon is a visual representation of an object, action, or idea. Most of us will definitely agree with me, right, that seeing a home icon on an application, you already know that, okay, this is the home page of a mobile application. Seeing a settings icon on an application without even seeing any corresponding text to say that, okay, this is the settings, you already know that this is the settings. Like tapping on this icon will actually take you to the settings page. So basically, that's what we're here to talk about. An icon can resonate with a real life object. For example, a hide icon will denote that it will hide a particular feature of an application. Icons also make us understand, without even seeing the supporting text, what a particular feature is all about. So we'll be dealing with icons real quick over the next couple of minutes. I promise not to take your time. So yeah.
Thanks,
So first
Aderiye. So all right, cool. Just okay, go ahead. I thought we had questions in the chat, but we're good so far. So Aderiye, you have 15 minutes. Anything more than 15 minutes, I cut you off. So we can round off and take questions. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so this particular icon set that I have, we're getting from Iconly. So I will drop in the comment section the various, what's it called, icon packs and how you can get them. You can also get icons from materialdesign.io. Material Design has a plugin on Figma here. You can actually get your icons there. So let me just do this real quick as time is now on my side. So real quick here, one thing I do when I design is I actually have white and black section for my icons. Yeah. So I create a large frame. And then I create another frame within the frame, if that makes any sense. And I change the color of the frame to black. Yeah. So now before I proceed, what I do is actually advisable here, because there are some times where, now in as much as Control K will actually scale you can use K to actually scale your K, now not Control K, sorry. You can use K to scale your elements in your design. I actually try to add this to my style guide by having three different sizes for my icons. The first being 16 pixels. Sorry. And then the second being 24 pixels. And the third being 40 pixels, just in case. Now, most times the 40 pixels are not used, but I mean, it's just mostly there. So the ones I use basically are 16 and 24. So bringing these icon sets from Iconly, right, into this, sorry. Into this frame. Now, on the left-hand panel, right, you'll see the naming convention for this particular icon pack. You say iconly /bold / the name of the icon. Now, to give it a particular name, to give it a particular font icon size, right? There's a plugin called Rename It. So all you have to do is click on resources up here, or better still, just in case you don't have it, let's just run it together. Go to plugins, go to find more plugins, search for Rename It. There are actually a couple, but then you'll see it is actually Rename It. So you run it and you click on rename selected layers. Now let's go back to, sorry, it's gonna be open now actually. Now let's select our icons and go to plugin, then go to rename it. Then you click on rename selected layers, right? Let's do that again. Rename selected layers. Excuse me. So one thing you want to do is you do percentage n, sorry, / 16 pixels. Then / bold, or better still / percentage name again. I'm so sorry. Percentage, so keywords, I'm so sorry, right? So you click on layer name / 16 pixels / child layer, which is then click on rename. So
Aderiye, there's a
when we're done,
question. What's the normal size of icon for mobile and website? I heard 24 by 24 is for mobile. What about for websites? Is there an answer? Do you have an answer to that question, or we keep it till later?
there's actually there's no defined what's it called for web. It depends. You can go as high as 40. You can go as high as 40, 48 pixels. Anything other than that is actually outrageous.
Okay, cool. Got it. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right, so sorry guys. So I'm done renaming Mr. Iconly. Though I made a mistake. This fourth property is not supposed to be there. So let's rename it again. We go to plugins, go to rename it, rename selected layers. It opens, you click layer name, / 16 pixels, and you rename. Still there. I do. How about crew? Okay. I'm so sorry, guys.
Aderiye, are you sure you don't want to push this for another session? You still think we can wrap it up in 5-10 minutes?
Yeah, definitely can.
Okay.
We can. You can actually.
So while Aderiye is here, others that are pretty familiar with this subject, as usual, I'd appreciate sharing your resources in the chat so that other people can learn. Whatever material you use that was helpful for you, whatever article that was helpful, kindly drop it on the chat so everyone can pick something new and go with them. Also, feel free to drop your tweets, whatever thing you want people to connect with. There is no control here, there's no seriousness here. Feel free to sell your market and share whatever you feel like sharing in the comment section and network while at it. So if you want some engagement in whatever you posted or you want some feedback, feel free to drop it in the chat. We are not going to be annoyed. All right, so over to you, Aderiye.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So 16 pixels / layer name. Okay, yeah, so once you're done renaming, you select or come up here to component, click on the drop down icon and just create component sets. It automatically turns all this icon pack into a variant. Yeah, so like that, we have our icons for 16 pixels. Okay, now let me just go back a bit, copy all these guys, duplicate, have for 24, and then I have for 40 pixels also. So renaming it should be quite very easy. Okay. So for 24 pixels, right? For 24 pixels, you do this, is just the same process, plugins, rename it, rename selected layers. Still loading. Layer name / 24 pixels.
Adiri, are you going to send me airtime if you use more than 5 minutes? Let's do it that way. Adiri, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry. I said I promised to.
You promised? Yeah. Okay, I'll give you 5 more, and if you use more than 5 minutes, you're definitely sending me airtime.
No,
Okay, so your 5 minutes starts now. Yeah. because I want us to round it off exactly before time. Yeah.
All right. Problem. Okay. So sorry. All right. So duplicate. So, okay. So I made a mistake earlier, right? For the 16 pixels, I didn't change the size to 16 by 16. So I'm doing that now. So you change it. You change the size for both the width and the height to 16 by 16. You go to rename it. Rename selected layers. Layer name /16. And then you rename. It's done. You convert, you change everything, make everything variant by creating component sets. And that's that about that. So for 24 by 24, right, that's like the standard mobile size already. You just go to the plugin, rename it, rename selected layers. Layer name /24 pixels. And you rename. And then lastly, for 40 pixels, then you create component sets. Then for 40 pixels, you change the width and the height to 40 by 40. You select all your plugin, rename it, rename selected layers. You just like running the same thing, but changing the font, but changing the size. Layer name /40 pixels. And then you rename. Then you make everything a component setter again. So if on this empty frame now, right, coming to my assets panel, which is on the right-hand side. If I click on it and I drag in this particular icon, you see that on the right-hand panel, you can actually see the property 1, property 2, and property 3. Now the property 1 is the weight, property 2 is the icon type, and property 3 actually is the size. So you can actually toggle between.
And cut, Aderiye, cut. I don't want you to send me airtime. That's why I'm doing this. I apologize, but I think there's a lot to there's a lot to unpack, and if I let you, you might want to continue. So I'm suggesting we might want a part 2 for this. Aderiye, what do you think?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah. So I apologize. Because I don't want you to rush. Because if you rush, you might miss out on one. So I'm going to propose you kick off our very next session around this stuff. But I want to beg you and Barney that do not just stop in teaching. I want you to always make sure you like show how these pieces come together to a final result. That is usually what people can result to. That said, I want you to closing remarks from 2 of you first, then I can round off the show. So Barney, go first. Words of encouragement for people there in a minute. Then Aderiye can go next, and then I can share the grace, and yeah, we can pick up from there. Barney, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
How far? Shout out to your fans and well wishers.
Okay, so actually, so somebody even reached out to me to ask questions like they're not even sure if they want to be in product design. That you guys have anything for like beginners, let them know if product design is for them. Right, so that's the first one. So I just said that I was going to drop that here first. Then okay, so I just want to say thanks everybody for coming. I know there are a lot of guys here that they're already bosses. Like Yahweh had to even reach out to, I don't know if I pronounce your name well. Let me just say Gabriel had to even reach out to me. I didn't even know he went to see you as well. So it's cool. Then I just want to thank everybody for coming. And this thing, product design takes time, right? Like it, how do I want to put it now? You don't need to rush it, right? Just strive to be a better product designer than you were yesterday. That's just it. And you just see that like it will not be about like you're rushing for money anymore, right? People will rush you with money when your stuff is good, right? When you create like quality, and that's just it. That's where I stop. Thank you guys.
All right, cool. Thank you very much, Barney. That was really, I agree with that completely. Be a better version of yourself. Don't listen to the noise. Let people run their own race. Run your own race. Okay. So Aderiye Alpha.
Okay. First off, I want to apologize.
Wow, Pelumi is here. Everybody give Pelumi a round of applause for joining by this time. Pelumi, welcome, sir. Aderiye, sorry for interrupting. Aderiye, there's a background noise. I'm not sure what that is, but we couldn't hear you. Aderiye Alpha.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, please. 1 minute. Aderiye, you're on mute again. What's going on, guy?
Oh, I thought we were still talking about Kwelu.
No, I said one. I said you have you have your 1 minute to share.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry, guys, like for not being able to finish my part of the job.
I think you did though. Yeah, you just wanted to do extra with typography. I think you sealed typography. Icon can always come some other time. So I feel I learned a lot from your session. You get, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So well, never stop learning. Seriously, learning never stops. When they say that, they actually anybody that tells you that is actually not joking. At every point or the other in life, we'll have to keep learning. And don't look down on yourself. Don't think you can do it, right? Impostor syndrome will come almost every now and then. You feel like you can do it. I would advise you get someone to talk to, probably make the person your mentor. I mean, that was what Toby is in my life for. Toby I used to be my go-to person. It's not like I forgot about him now though. But then I won't believe if I still have any issue today, I will definitely run back to Toby. So yeah, like Barney said, be the best. Try to be the best version of yourself, and yeah, never stop learning. The sky is your starting point, guys.
All right
Until
then.
the next meeting.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. On that note, I'd like to appreciate everyone for showing up, especially Barney and Aderiye. You guys think you were here to learn. Two of them are also here to learn. I legit put them on the spot because it's one thing to have grown in design. I wanted them to also practice the art of, teaching and using platforms like this. So we are all work in progress. This is not meant to be a serious or take ourselves seriously. So for in-house DYP, please wait behind. Barnabas, Aderiye, let's wait behind on the call. Let me give you feedback on how you went and opportunities for improvement. I would say if you are interested in the community, send a DM on IG. For other members that are interested in speaking, would also connect with you. I think we should keep this up every weekend. And for new members that are just share topics that you think would interest you, right? So Dami that spoke earlier, we've done some beginner topics. So maybe you missed out on those ones. For the people that sent Barney a DM, like we've had these sessions plenty times. So maybe we'd have one more if we see that the greater population wants to know if product design is what they're interested in. I can even handle that one if it's key, because I think you shouldn't waste your time on a part that is not your calling. So it's important to confirm. So thank you from Yanga to Ademola to Ishi to Nofisat to Gabriel. Aderiye and Barney, I think you did a great job. You are able to keep about 50 people on a call for 2 hours. That's not beans. On a Saturday, that's a huge deal. So shout out to you. And Pelumi, what's your punishment now that you're here? What's your excuse to the world for showing up by this time? Where's Pelumi? How far?
I'm very sorry, everybody.
Guy,
There was
you
no
know,
light since
there was,
morning. I swear.
there was no light.
I
Wow.
swear. It's the
No,
Nigerian factor. See why you
no,
have to come and carry me to Canada.
no, Allah. All right, man. Then thank you everyone for
Yes, sir.
joining. On that note, we are calling it a wrap. See you guys again next week. Hopefully, we get to do this. I hope to. Hopefully, a lady gets to host, and we're looking forward to connecting with everyone again. Take care and enjoy your weekend. I'm stopping the recording now. Stop recording. Done.